Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Randy Wolfe. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. So I'm talking about today investment mistakes to avoid. So many people that are new or aspiring real estate investors, they get started with this, and there are a lot of common mistakes that I see happen. And so I'm going to kind of go through a few of those here in this short video today. Be sure to stick around to the end, and I will tell you about an exciting offer that I have coming up. So actually, probably one of the first mistakes that people make is, they go through the process, they learn, and they end up finding that person that says, "Hey, I'm ready to sell my property. I'll sell it to you." And they're like, "Awesome." And they end up overpaying for the property. We make our money on the buy. And so you have to buy the property at the right price point. Now, I have a ton of videos on this channel. If you haven't seen them already, check them out, talking about ARV, how to calculate that. That's an important thing, after repair value, that talks about how you can estimate repair cost and strategies that you can use in order to make sure that the deal works. I also have a free buyer's guide, a property buying guide. I will send that to you for absolutely free. If you want to comment below the word wealth, just comment in the YouTube comments below. I will be happy to send you that guide at absolutely no cost. And it talks about definitely making sure certain things line up. It's like a checklist, basically. But buying is so important, and having the wrong numbers, estimating the ARV higher than what it really is a surefire way to lose money. So don't do that. As I alluded to, the next thing, kind of jumped into number 2 already, is estimating repair cost. Repair cost almost always, when you're first getting started out, will be more than what you think they are. So if you think something's going to cost $10,000, it's probably going to cost more than that. I talked about on this channel my first major renovation project. I went in and I thought I could go in and do a full gut renovation for like 20 grand. And I found out that that is impossible. You can't do that. And I will tell everyone watching right now, don't think you can, because you can't. You can't do a full gut rehab for 20 grand. But I thought, like, well, I can cut some cost here and there, and nah, you can't. So you got to make sure that you estimate repair cost and ARV. Those are 1 and 2. The second thing is that people do is that new investors is when they're doing a renovation, they try to end up cutting cost by buying like cheap materials and cheap things. And cheap is a good way to end up things break. And so, like, if you have a rental property and you're putting in the cheapest type of plumbing fixtures and things of that nature, you're going to end up having to replace that very, very soon. If you're going to try to cheap out and you're going to go on Facebook Marketplace and buy a used refrigerator to put into a rental property, trust me, you're going to end up having to replace that sooner than later. And I can speak from experience. I've done that. And so, that's something that you have to understand. You've got to be smart with your money. Like the dented and scratched at Home Depot, that's fine. But like if you're buying a 10-year-old refrigerator or a 15-year-old refrigerator online from, someone on Facebook, good luck. The next thing is, so that's number 1. That's number 3. The fourth thing is trying to work with the cheapest contractors. So contractors are a huge thing, and this is where a lot of mistakes are made, is basically trying to have, you do the right thing, you get multiple bids, but then you use the cheapest contractor that doesn't have, the proper credentials and that sort of thing. If you do that, you're going to end up, in almost all cases, stuff is not going to be fixed to the standard that it needs to be. And if you're flipping the property, it's not going to pass inspection. Or if you're keeping it as a rental, you get your tenant in there and all of a sudden things aren't right and you're having to send someone back out there to take care of it. So you got to make sure that you don't skim on that. Make sure you have good contractors. And this is not easy. I just want to tell you, this is hard. It's tough to find good contractors, and it's going to be some trial and error involved. I just hate to say that. I wish there was a magic button, an easy button. It's just not. You're going to have to work through some of them to try to find good ones. And there are some really, really good ones out there, but there's also a lot of really, really bad ones too. The next thing is, I would say, is new investors particularly. Now, if you're an experienced investor, maybe you can get away with this a little bit, but new investors buying a property without having an inspection. So you got to understand that an inspector is different than a contractor. So when you're thinking about like a contractor, like a general contractor, let's just say, Their job is to fix things. They know how to fix things, repair things, install things. They're not always the greatest. Some of them are really good at it, but most of them are not great at finding problems and inspecting. An inspector, they're not necessarily going to be the one that's great at maybe fixing them, but they know what to look for and how to find things. So having an inspection on the property will save you a lot of grief in the future, because you may not necessarily realize something in the crawl space that's going on, and you buy the property and you think everything's fine, and then all of a sudden you find out later it's got a bunch of termites, or there's some sort of major foundation issues that you didn't realize. So that's the thing I want to tell you is, and I'll kind of wrap it up here because I don't want to go long, is having inspections can save you a lot of money. Yes, it costs money to do it, but it's just basically a part of doing business. And ultimately, if you add up all those inspections you pay for, if you're doing this for the long haul, it's going to be a minimal cost to the amount of money and wealth you can build with real estate. So I hope this video has been valuable. Be sure, if you haven't, subscribe to the channel. If you are a new or aspiring real estate investor, comment wealth below to get that free guide, and check out some of the other videos on the channel. If you're watching on YouTube, they will be, if you're watching on a YouTube app, they'll be popping up somewhere in this area here, but you can check out some of my other videos. As always, thank you for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.